So hopefully iMovie doesn't mess with me too much this time. Title screen. And let's talk about the shiny herd, the zodiac, and basically those stars that are beyond the Zonai.
Necronomicon is coming.
So the shiny herd, or the Azonai, um, are the attributions given to the zodiac, or the 12 zodiac signs that we know of today, and how they are worshipped and worked with within the system of the Necronomicon. Now, the shiny herd, with the list that I was able to get it from and kind of digest it and all that stuff. If you look in the Simon Necronomicon in the supplementary materials to 777, you will find a listing of the different zodiac signs with their Sumero-Akkadian correspondences, and that's kind of what I worked with here. So before I get into talking about what each of the Azonai are and kind of how they can help you grow spiritually, let's just kind of go over, didn't plan this too well, but we're going with it. Kind of impulsive, I just got home from work and running some errands, so whatever. But, so, let's start off with the myth. When Marduk cleaved Tiamat in two and created the sky and the earth, you know, the separation between the two, he also fixed beings to the firmament, which is the barrier between inside and outside, the barrier between this world and the wastes out there, which is guarded by the gates of Iaxakok, etc., etc. By the way, our project, fact check me on all this stuff. I love learning more, but let's keep going. So, the different zodiac signs, signs that were known about and kind of watched by the ancients, the Chaldeans, the Babylonians. Those they are listed in the Mul Apin, which is the one of the star catalogs. And I believe there was like 48 of them in there, but to stick with the actual zodiac, I basically took 12 of them. I did some journey work and looking at the actual correspondences and the way that the constellations are shaped, and I created my own sigils for them. So in my Lamadou Dingir, I did put them in here. However, I would like to say that my sigils are not exactly the only ones that you can use. If you are able to divine your own sigils from working with these energies, then definitely work with them. So I'm not going to show the sigils, but I am going to talk about each of the Azonai. So walking the Azonai is it's different than a gate walk in that you can only walk the Azonai you can only walk a specific Azonai when the sun is in that sign. So when the sun is in Aquarius, you can walk Aquarius. When the sun is in Pisces, you can walk Pisces. When the sun is in Taurus, you can walk Taurus. You get the idea? Hope so. So let's work with this. I'm going to read this little paragraph here. The Azonai reside in the starry sky. Ooh! Spelling error. I have to remember that for later. Before the plains of the Igigi. When the gatewalking initiation with the Zonai has been finished, it is the charge of the gatewalker to commune with the Azonai in aims of spiritual growth. The celestial bodies of the Azonai find parallels in the modern zodiac constellations and were known as the shiny herd to Mesopotamians. So, if you're really into astrology, this is going to really come easy for you. And I would like to say that when you are done with the gatewalking, because you have attuned yourself to the planets or those planes that are closest to us, depending on the belief train that you follow and the your concept and your view of our planet, flat Earth, planet, and just the way that our universe works. Let's delve into that for a minute here. The way that it was seen back then was that the different zonai from the moon all the way up to Saturn were seen as different layers above our sky. And as you progress through those layers, those are different vibrational layers. They're not exactly planets. And as you raise your etheric astral body of light through those layers, you eventually go all the way through Saturn, and then you can play with the outer planets, and then you can get to, which is Anu, Enlil, and Enki, and then you can play around with the Azonai. Remember, the gates of Anu, Enlil, and Enki have their own attributions. Check one of my previous videos in the Necronomical Studies playlist. And then, welcome to the Shiny Herd. So, remember, you can only work with the Azonai when it is in the when the sun occupies its sign. Blech. So the first one we have is Agru, which is the field dweller, or Aries, because that's where we start. Agru has to do with springtime, manifestation, hard work, tending to the flock, guiding others. Associated with Marduk and his dominion over the earth. Also associated with Dumuzi and the sacred marriage rite. The sheep of appeasement. Like if you're a sheeple, get the idea? The spirit of life, recognizing our fates associated with Kingu. So that's kind of like our internal emotional nature. The springtime, so growth. And I'll let you play around with the rest of them. Then you have Gudana, which is the heavenly bull, or Taurus. Fire, that of destruction and creation, associated with Enlil and his dominion over the earth. Also nativity, associated with Kingu, again. The son of Tiamat and leader of the ancient ones in battle. The unskilled laborer. So if you are trying to work on a new skill, it is a good idea to begin learning a new skill when the sun is in the sign of Taurus. Can provide counsel on creation of things and continued growth in one's field, of expertise, and brings life and growth. Then you have Reu, Kinu, Shame, U, Tu, Ame, Rabuti. Didn't mess that one up. Which is the twins, or Gemini. Associated with Shamash and his dominion over the earth. It was kind of seen as the divine twins, or Shamash and Nana. The light and dark, that kind of thing, can signify war, depending on relation with the Zonai, like Inanna and Nurgle. Like, if Inanna has any interaction with Gemini, it could be a very, very good time. If Nurgle has an interaction with Gemini, then it can be a more energetic time, could possibly be bad, could be good. Guardians of the entrance of Ganzir allows entrance for those who have passed on, described as a depiction of the twins Inanna and Shamash. I got that right. And then we have Shitu, which is pincers, or Cancer, associated with Anu and his dominion over the earth. Can indicate floods, depending on the constellation's interactions with the Zonai in the night sky. I would like to think that Neptune, being in Cancer, kind of a very watery situation you got going on there. Associated with craftsmen and creation of things from nature. Allows passage and communication to ancestors that passed on to Ganzir. So this is really a good time to look into your past and your relatives, things like that, what they can teach you. Let's keep going. The Kalbu Rabu, which is the lion, or do I need to say this one? Leo. Associated with Easter, or Ishtar, and her dominion over the earth. Grandmother of Tiamat, royalty, relationship with one's world, war, carnage, drought, dominance, feminine energy, creation energy. Everything that a Leo is about. I'm not going to go too much into that. But then we have Shiru, which is the daughter of Sin, or Virgo. Associated with Easter and her dominion over the earth, corresponds to wind and earth elements if you need to ground or if you need to think. Intelligence, grounding, farming, seeding, and reaping. What are you going to start, or what are you going to finish and pull the rewards from when the sun is in Virgo? Good question. Then we have Zibanitum, which is heavenly fate, or Libra, associated with Nergal and his dominion over the earth. Just a side note, in the ancient times, if you follow the Zechariah Sitchin books, depending on the astrological sign with the precession of the equinoxes, that dictated who was ruling over the earth at the time. So given what we know about with Zibanitum, which is what I just read, which is heavenly fate Libra, that Nergal has something to do with Libra. Then we have Akrabu, which is the Scorpion Man. It's the only one of the Azonai that's actually given a sigil in the book, in the Necro, which is in the Testimony of the Mad Arab Part 2. Or Testimony of the Mad Arab, the second part. Just want to be PC on this. So, associated with Enkidu, which is the a creature of Enki, symbolizes war, military and tactical prowess, judgment and fairness, revealer of the truth, can reveal the mysteries of Arzir and how the shiny herd's influences are felt by the priest, can give counsel on the nature of the realms of the zodiac, and knowledge of the Anunnaki. So, in the neck, when he says he knows of the gate, but not the gate, he kind of can talk to you about what that realm is all about. He can give you a feeling for it. Then we have Pabiosog, which is the defender, or Sagittarius, judge of those who commit crimes. Associated with Ninurta and his dominion over the earth. Known as the Forefather, he delivers souls of those who have done evil deeds to the heavens for the punishment in the afterlife. An interesting thing is when the specific degree, I think it's 29 degrees Sagittarius, is the galactic center. So that's the big, that's the rift, that's the dark rift. That's a symbolism of the great beyond, the great deep. So that's why the Pabiosog is associated with but what is it? Delivers the souls of those who have done evil deeds to the heavens. So he will bring souls to the heavens. That's why he's part of that's why the galactic center is actually in his constellation. Then we have Sulhur-Mosh, which is the goatfish, or Capricorn. Associated with Enki, waters, wisdom, granter of requests, sign of wishes and prayers, can bring together the events, energies, or people required for completion of tasks. Then we have Mulgula, which is Lord of the Waters, Enki, or Aquarius. Associated with Enki and his dominion over the earth, irrigation, creation, manifestation, wisdom, plenty, exuberance, wealth, floods, and rains. So think about what water is. Water is emotional. Water is flowing. Water is thoughtful. In a way, a little bit less than air, but in a different flavor than air. So, anything, emotional that is coming up for you, or anything that is really deep-seated emotional, remember Enki is the Lord of the Great Deep, you can work through and address when the sun is in Aquarius. Then we have Dilgan U Rikis Nuni, which is the fishes, or Pisces. Duality, bond with the stars, connection to the Anunnaki, overflow of waters and emotions, represents the unity of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers as a balance of light and dark emotions. So really understanding yourself, where your urges come from. Also associated with Enki. Of course, water, Enki, you get the gist. Am I going to skip a page? To 82 to 83. Definitely doesn't look like it. Anyway, I gotta move this back here, because I'm going to fix my little spelling error after this video. Anyway, so those are the Azonai, the shiny herd. And basically how you would walk them is make note of what astrological sign the sun is in. Begin a plan, like look at the one that's happening, not today, not right now. And this is, of course, after you've done the Gatewalking and Anu, Enlil, and Enki. You look at what the sun is going to move into next. You look at what that astrological sign kind of plays around with, whether it plays around with home matters, business matters, relationships, money, foundation, different things like that. And figure out what problems you would like to address in those areas during that time. Because it's kind of like, it's the window of opportunity opens. So what I would honestly do is kind of either use a sigil for my book whenever it comes out. I have no idea when, because I have to rework the entire thing so I can skirt around copyrighty jazz. But anyway, find a sigil or symbolism for that zodiac sign, and I would make a temporary altar with it, and kind of any materials that you can think of that have to do with the different things that you were going to target and work on during that time. Put those on that altar to give you focus. Spend some time every single day when the sun is in that sign at that altar, meditating, thinking, and going over in your head what you are doing in that area of your life that needs improvement, needs changing, and basically it's saying, hey, this is your homework assignment for the next couple of weeks or however long it is. I didn't really fact check that because, like I said, impulsive, but you guys get the gist. So this sets up a structure that it comes after the Zonai, because the Azonai really have to do with your inner emotions. The majority of the workings with the Zonai, the Moon, Mercury, and Venus have to do with your emotions, and then the Sun brings it out, and then Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn and Ganzir kind of have to do with how you interact with other people, and really what your subconscious is playing around with the subconscious thing being Ganzir. So the Azonai kind of put a different flavor to it, and I can't remember if I said this before, but once you have walked the gates, the astrological cycles will begin to affect you a lot more because you are so open to their energies, because vibrationally you are now closer to them because you are not below the realms of the Zonai. Your astral body of light, your vibration, has gone way higher than the Zonai themselves and is now touching the Azonai. So now the Azonai are like, yo, there's something else I get to play with now. There's somebody I get to mess with and I get to put my energies towards. And it's your job to play around with those energies when they come at you and make them improve your life. Channel them into something constructive rather than getting down on what the astrology of the day is doing to you. Like, in my life, there are some times when you're just like, damn Mercury retrograde, or freaking Mars retrograde, or even Venus retrograde that we're in now, which actually in my life is fantastic. But some people would like curse the stars, or like, oh, why am I having a bad day? It's because this thing is squaring this thing and it's in this sign. When you are working with the Azonai, that is no more. You are no longer a victim to the energies around you. You are playing around with them and being constructive to make your life better. It's like taking any bad situation you find yourself in and being the boss of it. So, from my understanding and my building of the Lamadou Dingir Grimoire, this is what I was able to cook up for working with the Azonai. So, I hope you guys liked it. Let me know what you think, and good hunting.